Thank you all so much for giving us an opportunity to do that and for allowing us to be extended family as Deb and Jenny and little Jack grow up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. Okay, today we are, I want to get honest with you right off the bat. Mother's Day and Father's Day, most people either really love it or they have bad memories of it, either way. Some people had really great mothers that just loved and nurtured them. Some people didn't have such great mothers. But one thing we can say about this, God appointed each and every mother that we have to guide us and launch us toward our destiny in Jesus. And He's always been there with us. And God has ordained mothers to raise us up in the nurture and admonition of the Lord. Some of our moms are gone home already. And, sometimes you wish you just had them to sit down and talk to them one more time. Or you think about the mom that's gone home and how much she'd love her grandkids or her great-grandkids and wish they could be here. You know? So God has ordained mothers. Mothers are a special group of people. And since it's such a very difficult job, I guess that's the reason He let women have the children. It is one thing that mothers and Dragnet have in common. Raising kids is an endless, thankless, dirty job that's got to be done. Just like they said in Dragnet. It's a tough job. You get those days where your kid comes over there and grabs you and gives you a kiss and says, "Mom, I love you." For every one of those, there's a bunch of broken arms, dirty diapers, getting in the messes, flushing toys down the commode. For every one of those, but it makes the other 99 worthwhile, doesn't it? So with that being said, today, we're going to honor moms and we're going to laugh a little bit, reflect a little bit. And then we're going to pray over the moms today, which means that we're going to pray over all the ladies here because God has put mothering skills in every lady, whether they have their own children or whether they're in a body that has children to nurture. This is from a lady from Austin, Texas. And she shares with us 23 things she's learned from her children. And number one was, she said, "I have learned that a king-size waterbed holds enough water to fill a 2,000 square foot house 4 inches deep." "I have learned that if you spray hairspray on dust bunnies and run over them with rollerblades, they can set on fire." "I have learned that a 3-year-old's voice is louder than 200 adults in a crowded restaurant. And if you hook a dog leash over a ceiling fan, the motor is not strong enough to rotate a 42-pound boy wearing Batman underwear in a Superman cape. It is strong enough, however, if tied to a paint can, to spread paint over all 4 walls in a 20 by 20 room. The next thing I've learned is that you should not throw baseballs up when the ceiling fan is on. And when using a ceiling fan as a bat, you have to throw the ball up a few times before you get a hit. A ceiling fan can hit a baseball a long way. I've learned that the glass in windows, even double pane, does not stop a baseball hit by a ceiling fan. And when you hear the toilet flush and the words, "uh-oh," it is already too late. I've learned that brake fluid mixed with Clorox makes smoke. Lots of smoke. A 6-year-old can start a fire with a flint rock, even though his 36-year-old dad says it can only be done in the movies. Certain Legos will pass through the digestive tract of a 4-year-old. Play-Doh and microwaves should not be used in the same sentence. Super glue is forever. And no matter how much Jell-O you put in the swimming pool, you still cannot walk on water. Pool filters do not like Jell-O. VCRs, now that kind of dates us. VCRs do not eject peanut butter jelly sandwiches, even though TV commercials say they will. Number 16, garbage bags do not make good parachutes. And marbles in gas tank makes lots of noise while you're driving. And you probably do not want to know what that odor is. Always look in the oven before you turn it on. Plastic toys do not like ovens. I know, I learned from my kids that the fire department in Austin, Texas has a 5-minute response time. I know that for sure. The spin cycle on a washing machine does not make earthworms dizzy. It will, however, make cats dizzy. Did you know cats throw up twice their body weight when dizzy? And if you can't laugh, you cry. So anyway, Proverbs 31 is a chapter about a good woman being hard to find. She is worth far more than diamonds. Her husband trusts her without reserve and never has reason to regret it. Never spiteful, she treats him generously all her life long. She shops around for the best yarns and cottons, enjoying knitting and sewing. She's like a trading ship that sails to faraway places and brings back exotic surprises. She's up before dawn preparing breakfast for her family and organizing her day. She looks over a field and buys it, then with money she's put aside, plants a garden. First thing in the morning, she dresses for work, rolls up her sleeve, easy to get started. She senses the worth of her work and is in no hurry to call it quits at the end of the day. She's skilled in the crafts of home and hearth, and she's a diligent homemaker. She's quick to assess anyone in need. She reaches out to help the poor. She doesn't worry about her family when it snows. Their winter clothes are all mended and ready to wear. She makes her own clothing and dresses in colorful linens and silks. Her husband is greatly respected when he deliberates with the city fathers. She designs gowns and sells them and brings sweaters she knits to the dress shops. Her clothes are well made and elegant, and she always faces tomorrow with a smile. When she speaks, she has something worthwhile to say, and she always says it kindly. She keeps an eye on everyone in her household and keeps them busy and productive. Her children respect and bless her. Her husband joins in with words of praise. Many women have done wonderful things, but you have outclassed them all. Charm can mislead, and beauty soon fades. The woman to be admired and praised is the woman who lives in the fear and reverence of God. Give her everything she deserves. Festoon her life with praises. You know, in honor of moms today, this little passage right here is for all the moms who have sat up all night long with sick toddlers in their arms, wiping up barf laced with Oscar Mayer wieners and cherry Kool-Aid, saying, "It's okay, honey, Mommy's here." We honor those moms who walk around the house at night with their babies when they keep crying and won't stop. This is for all the mothers who show up at work with spit up in their hair and milk stains on their blouses and diapers in their purse. This is for all the mothers who run carpools and make cookies and sew costumes for school plays, and for all the mothers who don't. This is for the mothers who gave birth to babies they will never see. And the mothers who took those babies and gave them homes. This is for all the mothers who froze their buns off on metal bleachers at football and soccer games on Friday night instead of watching from cars, so that when their kids asked, "Did you see me?" they could say, "Of course, I wouldn't have missed it for the world," and really mean it. This is for all the mothers who yell at their kids in the grocery store and swat them in despair when they stomp their feet like a tired 2-year-old who wants ice cream before dinner. This is for all the mothers who sat down with their children and explained all about making babies, and all the mothers who wanted to but just couldn't. For all the mothers who read Goodnight Moon twice a night for a year and then read it again just one more time. This is for all the mothers who taught their children to tie their shoelaces before they started school. And for all the mothers who opted for Velcro instead. This is for all the mothers who teach their sons to cook and their daughters to sink jump shots. This is for all the mothers whose heads turn automatically when a little voice calls, "Mom!" even though they know that their own kids are home safe and sound. This is for all the mothers who sent their kids to school with stomach aches, assuring them that they'd be fine once they got there, only to get calls from the school nurse an hour later asking them to please pick them up right away. This is for all the mothers whose children have gone astray, who can't find the words to reach them. For all the mothers who bite their lips sometimes until they bleed when their 14-year-olds dye their hair green. What makes a good mother anyway? Is it patience? Compassion? Broad hips? Is it the ability to nurse a baby, cook dinner, sew a button on a shirt all at the same time? Or is it heart? Is it the ache you feel when you watch your son or daughter disappear down the street? Walking to school alone for the very first time? Or is it the joke that takes you from sleep to dread, from bed to crib at 2 a.m. to put your hand on the back of a sleeping baby? Is it the need to flee from wherever you are and hug your child when you hear news of a fire, a car accident, or a child dying? This is for all the mothers of the victims of all those school shootings and the mothers of those who did the shooting. For mothers of the survivors and the mothers who sat in front of their TVs in horror, hugging their child who just came home from school safely. This is for mothers who put pinwheels and teddy bears on their children's graves. This is for young mothers stumbling through diaper changes and sleep deprivation. And mature mothers who are learning to let go. For working mothers and stay-at-home mothers, single mothers, married mothers, mothers with money, monies without. This is for you all. So when you get to the end of your rope, you tie a knot, you hang on. Father God is holding the other end. And if your rope breaks, know that He is your refuge, and underneath you are His everlasting arms. One thing we don't talk about a lot, we tend to think that because we don't feel a certain way, then it must not be true. When Jesus becomes our life, everything He is, we become. Above the line, by one sacrifice, He's made perfect forever those who are being made holy. You need to understand your soul and your body has not been redeemed yet. That's why our soul gets bent out of shape. There's so much bombarding us. But up here, everything Jesus is, his peace, his joy, his love, his comfort, his strength, is all ours. Our soul is bombarded by the enemy that says, my goodness, if Jesus really loves you, would your kid be going through this, or would you be going through this? All those are lies. Fear is a liar. It really is, just like we sing, fear is a liar. And we tend to think that I must not be a good mom. And I mean, is there any moms that's never heard that voice in your ears that said, I could have done better with my children? Most moms I know, I wish we'd have done it. I just failed my children in this. Listen, there's no such thing as failure with the Lord. Yeah, we might have made some decisions, but God, listen to me. God uses every decision and everything that comes in our life to point us to Him and dependency upon Him, no matter what it is. There is no way. And then how would a mom ever know that depriving a kid of something so he can learn some responsibility and he cries and says, I hate you, Mom, was not the path that God wanted him to go? And maybe giving the kid everything they wanted was not the path that God wanted them to go. We don't know. We do the best we can right here and now, and we trust God with that, and God's good with that. And He loves us right where we are. Just where we are. One of the things that religion tells you, one of these days you're going to get it right, you won't struggle anymore. Not on this planet. It's not going to happen on this planet. As long as we have this unredeemed soul right here, it's just buffeted back and forth by the winds of circumstances. And when you get tired, we're just not quite as on our A game as we are when we're rested. And we say things and we do things and we think things when we're tired that we normally wouldn't think. That is because God designed it that way. If He didn't design it that way, when Jesus said, come unto me, all you who are labor and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. If we didn't have that, that verse wouldn't mean anything. We do get tired, and it's okay. And moms are the sticky stuff that holds everything together. And I want to close with this before I begin to pray for the ladies here. There's nothing that happens to us that didn't pass before God and get to us that God means for good. I don't care if it looks bad. God means it for good. He's not punishing us. You know, there are times where we get to enjoy the fruits of our labor, and sometimes we have to wait for them to come to fruition. You know, sometimes when your children say, you know, Mom, you were right about that. You may have to wait a long time to hear that. But it's really good when you do. And that's what we got here for. That's what moms are for. We don't thank our moms enough. We don't hug them enough. One thing we need to remember, we shouldn't give away our roses after we die. We should give our roses while we're still living. You know, if I die, I don't need you to come and say good things about me. It would have helped if you'd have told me some good things about me when I was here. Think about that. Why don't we do that? Why don't we do that? The world would be... Do you think the world is a place of encouragement? You don't watch the news then. It is not a place of encouragement. That's why God says, let your light so shine. If somebody blesses you, and one thing I learned at the conference when I got back, it's really helped me. You know, you don't know what to say to people that bless your life. You know, well, you're a blessing to me. And this is what I learned down there. We are not an intrusion to God. We are His instrument. We are not a liability. We're an asset. God lives through us. He doesn't change me. He didn't change who Kenny Ashley was. He just chose to live out through how he made me and you and every one of us. So one of the things when I tell people, when people bless me, that I'm starting to say is, listen, you bless my heart. I love the way Jesus expresses himself through you. Isn't that a neat way to say it? I love how Jesus expresses himself through you. Because every good and perfect gift is from Jesus, right? And we're just conduits of a vehicle of his grace and love, and he lives through us. Start telling people now how much they mean to you, especially children. You need to go to your moms, and while you got them, Ralph Harris wrote a book, and it's called, the title of it's Perfect. It's got a subtitle. But Elliot, the little boy, the little middle school boy that's in the book, meets this stranger, which he begins to call perfect, which is Jesus. He lives in a town, Elliot lives in a town called Sarx. Now for those Greek scholars, you know that Sarx means flesh. It is a fleshly town. Everybody's self-centered and mean. Everybody. Even Elliot's mom and dad, he can't ever do anything right. They're always criticizing. When Elliot meets Perfect and has this conversation with Perfect, one day Elliot says, you know, Perfect, I wish you could be with me all the time. He said, I can. Really? All you got to do is open your heart and let me in, and I'll become one with you, and we'll live together. Really? So Elliot opens his heart, and Perfect becomes one with him. And now Elliot hears Perfect talking to him all the time. He said, Elliot, we're going to do some great stuff. We're going to love people to life. Sure, that sounds great to me, because when I'm with you, I don't have any fear. So one day he goes home, and there's his mother. His mother is out trying to pull up this root out of the garden. And the lies that Elliot's heard all his life, he said, oh, Lord, now I'm going to get a whipping for this because I was supposed to clean out the garden, and now Mama's pulling out a root. Daddy's probably going to whip me because I didn't pull out all the roots, and Mom's out there struggling. And Perfect says, chill out, Elliot. Here's what we're going to do about that. I want you to run over there to your mama and hug her around the waist and tell her you love her. We don't do that in our house. Perfect. We don't do that in our house. Mama would not know what to do with that. Well, let's try anyway. So Elliot runs over there. Her mom stops and wiping off the sweat. He runs over there, grabs her around the waist. Mom, I love you. I'm sorry I didn't get this root out for you. And she just kind of melts down. She says, who are you and what have you done with Elliot? And he said, listen, Mom, I'm sorry I didn't get that out. Come on, let me get this out for you. She said, no, why don't we do it together? So they pull the root out. The root snaps off. They both fall. They lay on the ground dying, laughing. He said, we have never had fun like that before. You see, I think that Jesus wants to express himself in ways that we can't even imagine. You say, well, I can't do that with people. They'll probably tell me what I can do with it. How are people ever going to know the love of Jesus if we don't let him use these? Moms use it more than anybody else I know. Have you ever seen a football player make a touchdown and say, hey, Dad? You ever seen that? No, they never say, hey, Dad. It's always, hey, Mom. Hey, Mom. Moms are special. Jesus has lived through them for a long time helping you out. You just need to say, Mom, I really love the way Jesus expresses himself through you. People can always use a little encouragement. It's a bittersweet day today, isn't it? Some of our moms already gone. But they're with Jesus. I'm a little envious that they're already seeing Jesus. My mom's already seeing Jesus. She sees what I never did. And now I get to see. One of these days I'm going to be with her. Believe me, I will see her totally different. Whether she's good, bad, ugly, whatever your mom was. We're going to see without this soul blocking her vision. And what a day that's going to be. But in the meantime, let's encourage one another and let Jesus love us to life. Now, I'm going to pray for the ladies down here, all the ladies. And as I do so, I believe that we are all one with Jesus. And I'm going to let Jesus use my tongue to bless the ladies as they come through. Because one of the things about telling people about Jesus says this is it kind of separates us out to Jesus over here and I'm doing the talking for him. If I'll give him my tongue, he will say what he wants to say. So I'm going to let Jesus bless you today. I'm just going to stand down here and anoint you and tell you what he says. Let me tell him, okay? So what I'd like for you to do is I'd like for all the ladies, if we can get some soft music, Paula, if you got some soft music. If we get all the ladies to come down this aisle, and I can get my lovely bride to come down here, and we're going to just pray right quick while we're doing that. Lord, we thank you for our moms. We thank you for the blessing that they are. They're the arrow launchers. They launch us toward our destinies. We thank you for the blessing of them. We'd be remiss. The Bible says to honor your father and mother, which is the first commandment with the promise that it may be well with us, that we may live long on the earth. And we're thankful for the moms. I ask you, Lord, today to speak to each and every one of these ladies. Bless them today. I know you want them to be aware of how much you love these ladies and what a blessing they are to so many others, especially our children. And we praise you for what you're about to do. In your name. Amen. The ladies will come.